Why are Gen Z and Gen Alpha seemingly worse at technology than millennials?
They're the younger kids leaving Gen X out of the discussion again.
I have two things to say about this.
I got a few things to say about this myself.
One, technology progression has slowed during the lifetime of Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Think about the progression of Windows 95 to Windows 10.
Think about the progression from the Commodore 64 to Windows 10.
Think about the progression from Zach Morris cell phones to iPhones.
Think about the progression from rotary phones to cell phones.
That all happened in a millennial's lifetime. They had to learn and cope with all of those changes.
Ha! Coping with changes? You ain't seen nothing like we have. It's Gen X that had to cope with all those changes and more.
You went from the Nintendo 64 to the Switch.
We went from Atari and Intellivision and ColecoVision to the Switch.
The youngest generations are actually not as attuned to changing technologies as older ones are.
Agreed.
They were impressed that kids could learn these new technologies that they themselves were struggling with. Sure, but that's not that impressive. Learning how to use a phone is way less impressive when you remember that they learned how to speak English just by hearing it.
I think this is true. Learning how to write some code to make a dot go across the screen, that seemed pretty impressive. Editing this video, not that impressive.
It was never that young people are just better at technology. It was always that kids are just good at learning.
Yes, that's true, and therein really is the problem. The kids don't really have to learn much nowadays. Gen Alpha, Gen Z, it's all kind of there for them to use, because those of us who have gone through the changes of technology since Gen X have had to learn everything that they know. And so learning is the key here. You can learn a lot if you have to. Most of the time only if you have to. If you don't have to, you don't learn it. And that's, I think, the biggest difference.